In the past, the demon lord Varvatos grows weary of his existing life. Consequently, he intended to have someone defeat him to revalidate his human nature. But there lacks a person strong enough to achieve that task. Thus, his last resort is to execute reincarnation magic. In the present day, it's the 10th birthday of Varvatos' new life as Ard Meteor, who was born to a pair of average, ordinary people. During this current era, the study of magic has diminished. However, on the positive side, his physique is notably athletic, providing him with excellent strength and physical abilities. When questioned by his parents about his aspirations in life, Ard privately contemplates his desire to cultivate a friendship of equals with someone. This objective, however, does not materialize when he attempts to befriend a group of boys and subsequently some girls, but on both occasions, he fails to connect with any of them. Ard later expresses his frustration by destroying the forest near his home, and when he pauses to rest by his house's doorstep, he receives a visit from the mayor, Olhide. From him, Ard discovers that the most effective way to make friends is to be kind and respectful. Energized by this, Ard adheres to Olhide's guidance. Yet once again, he struggles to leave a good impression on his peers to form friendships. Frustratingly taking out his anger on the monsters in the forest, Ard hears a young girl's voice in distress. Soaring to the spot from which the voice emanates, Ard witnesses a young elf girl battling an ancient wolf. Upon closer evaluation, Ard thinks the girl is merely expressing her anger against the creature. Back at Ard's residence, Olhide enjoys tea served by Ard's parents while discussing how his daughter has been acting withdrawn due to bullying and rumors. Returning to the girl, she reduces the wolf to ashes with a magical incantation, and Ard surmises the girl's identity to be Lydia. Noticed by the girl, Ard makes an effort to strike up a conversation, but his attempts to compliment her through praise or critique are unsuccessful. This prompts Ard to directly ask to be her friend, a plea the girl tearfully declines before fleeing. Back at Ard's home, Olhide bids farewell to Ard's parents, and the girl, who is revealed to be the mayor's daughter Irina, embraces her father. As she expresses her disdain for the countryside, Ard returns, stating that he followed Olhide's suggestion yet failed. The two would then encounter each other again, leading to a succession of Ard's attempts to befriend Irina, all of which end in failure each time. Eventually, a significant group of monsters made up of goblins attacks the town. While fighting off the monsters, Jack, Ard's father, tells Ard that the monsters invaded the town due to a faulty dungeon core. As it turns out, Olhide informs the two that Irina had ventured into the mountains earlier that afternoon, and Ard blames himself for being overly friendly with her. Soaring away, Ard discovers Irina encircled by a pack of goblins led by a hobgoblin. Just as Irina was accepting her fate, Ard arrives and dispatches the goblins with a few spells, and then takes out the remaining two goblins and hobgoblin. Jack, now with his wife Carla, is shown to have defeated all of the goblins in the town. While Jack is concerned about Irina, Olhide is not, asserting that his daughter will be safe. Returning to Ard and Irina, the two make amends with each other, and Irina finally acknowledges Ard's friendship. Years later, Irina surprises Ard by climbing into bed with him and proposes that they join the Academy of Magic together. Ard and Irina both meet Headmaster Golde of the Laville National Academy of Magic. Golde graciously introduces himself to the two as the Academy's headmaster and remarks on their heritage as the offspring of national heroes. Due to the achievement that Ard accomplished in his youth, he was exempted from the practical entrance exam for the senior division, but is still requested to complete the written section. Committing to perform well in that part, Ard later discovers that he failed the exam academically. However, in other aspects, as stated by Golde, his responses far exceeded those that have been projected. In simpler terms, the answers that Ard provided have significantly advanced the contemporary magic techniques. It's at this moment that Golde announces to the students in the vicinity of Ard's brilliance, but also how he is the son of the legendary mage Jack and warrior Carla, who once vanquished the evil god Dikeus, and an enigmatic figure observes the event unfold from the shadows. Later, Ard and Irina discuss their parents' previous achievements while strolling down a hallway. Upon entering their classroom, they are confronted by most of their fellow students who request to befriend them. Apart from those students, there was a small group that did not display the same level of respect, and they then witness a young succubus being harassed by a noble student. Irina steps in, and the bully introduces himself as Elrado, mentions the house he belongs to, and defends his actions by asserting that the girl belongs to a house that serves under his. Ard then intervenes and insists that the girl be treated with fairness and that he apologize to her. This results in Elrado suggesting a duel between them to resolve the issue, and Irina then identifies Elrado as someone who achieved becoming a mage square at a young age. As Elrado brags about his lineage, Olivia arrives on the scene and demands to know if Ard was the main cause of the disruption. Hesitantly, Ard admits that he was and inwardly wishes that Olivia doesn't recognize him as the reincarnation of Varvatos. During his brief exchange with Olivia, she allows the duel to proceed between El Rado and him. Later outside, Ard considers how he would battle El Rado without Olivia becoming aware of his true identity. The duel then commences with El Rado striking Ard with various types of flare spells, but Ard effectively counters every one of them with barriers. Ultimately, Ard triumphs in the duel using his own Giga Flare spell. After Irina compels El Rado to uphold his part of the agreement, she also reassures the girl to reach out to her or Ard if she finds herself in trouble again. Olivia then interjects, which annoys Ard, and she inquires about how he managed to double cast 2 spells during the fight. Embarrassed, Ard offers a clumsy explanation as to why, but is informed that what is called double casting was a skill lost in the modern age and is considered common knowledge. Despite her cautious attitude toward Ard, Olivia retreats, but asserts that she will uncover the truth soon enough. The next day, Olivia begins to officially instruct the class and divides the students into groups. Noticing the girl was alone, Irina requests Ard to invite her to join them, and he complies. Irina then proposes to the girl that she joins their group. She agrees and introduces herself as Ginny Findesalvon. At the site of the class assignment, Olivia directs the students to go to the dungeon's 3rd floor and hunt and skin a black wolf. Turning her focus to Ard's party, she asks Ard if it will be easy for someone like him. Once again, flustered by Olivia, Ard steers his group away from the situation. Eventually, the group comes across a pack of black wolves, and Irina and Ard handle them using a flare spell. This, however, proved to be somewhat problematic for them, as the remains of the wolves turned out to be overly charred to skin. Feeling insecure about her ability to contribute to the team, Ginny apologizes for her uselessness and mentions how El Rado scolds her for her ineptitude. To help Ginny build some confidence, Ard offers her some personal magic lessons. Despite her reluctance, Ginny ultimately accepts the offer, and they begin immediately. But Ginny struggles to match Ard's magical skill. Although Ard attempts to uplift Ginny's spirits, her self-esteem was shattered by the torment she faced from El Rado and his companions. So, Ard then demonstrates a new form of magic he developed called script magic, and then goes on to teach it to both Irina and Ginny. Before long, Ginny is shown to have mastered the magical technique, and then the trio falls into a trapdoor, leading them to a level where they confront a minotaur. Seizing the opportunity, Ard utilizes the encounter as a means to further instruct the two about script magic and permits a mentally rejuvenated Ginny to vanquish the beast. Back on the surface, the group hands over the horns of the Minotaur they overcame, and though it's claimed that script magic was employed to conquer it, Ard refutes this assertion. El Rado then scolds Ard for what he perceives as depending on the girls excessively, and Ginny speaks up in Ard's defense before smacking him aside, while Irina further humiliates him by placing a basket of black wolf pelt over his head. Enticed by the incident, Ard attempts to depart only to be halted by Olivia, who wishes to engage in a lengthy discussion with him. Golde and Olivia request Ard to join the student battle event that the Queen will attend, but Ard adamantly declines. In an attempt to persuade Ard to change his mind, Golde points out that the event presents a chance for the school to secure a larger budget. Ard then explains his reasoning for declining, stating it contradicts his aesthetics. Olivia then refers to her younger brother, who once expressed the same sentiment and subsequently reincarnated without her approval. Ard asserts that he will contemplate the proposal and subsequently reflects on the implications of declining the opportunity. At that moment, Ginny approaches Ard and invites him to go on a date with her. Ard accepts. Suddenly, Irina enters the scene and wishes to join the date, and Ginny gladly accepts, stating she doesn't want to monopolize Ard. Additionally, Ginny proposes that Ard should start his own harem, but Irina is clueless about the concept, prompting Ginny to explain it, and upon her understanding, Irina outright dismisses the idea. Afterward, the group goes on their outing in the town and begins by watching a play. The play was a retelling of the former demon lord Varvatos, during which both Ginny and Lydia embrace Ard, leaving him confused about the depiction of his past life. Following the play, Ginny guides the group to a dining location, and on their way, Ard overhears a group of cloaked individuals discussing the Queen. It is then agreed that they would all follow the group, and they trail them into the sewers, where they find the group standing before a large circle. Just as Ard states that he comprehends the circumstances, they are confronted from behind by more members of the group, which turns out to be a trap intended to capture them. Ard deduces that the cloaked group aims to seize them all, but the leader activates the magical circle, engulfing Ard in flames, prompting a correction of Ard's conclusion. Nevertheless, Ard emerges unscathed from the fire and obliterates the circle with his own spell, subsequently taking down the remaining members besides the leader. With no other options left, the leader transforms into his true demon form and casts Lightning Burst to create an escape route through the ceiling. Ard chases him, and upon reaching the surface, the demon takes a young girl hostage, inciting panic among the onlookers. However, Ard reassures the people using his name and the name of his father, Jack Meteor, affirming that everything will be all right and that the hostage the demon held was an illusion. The demon is then vanquished by the spell, Flash of Babel, and in the aftermath, Ard is elevated into the air for his achievement. The next day, Ard, Irina, and Ginny meet with Queen Rosa, and Irina is revealed to be familiar with her. Rosa then proposes marriage to Ard, but this offer is declined, leading to Ard's promotion to Pentagon class. Instead, Ard requests an increase in the budget for his academy. The Queen, intrigued by Ard's humility, grants both title and budget to Ard and Irina, while appointing them as the Queen's shadow. Ginny is also awarded the Triangle class as well. Meanwhile, more of the cloaked figures converse about their previous attempt against Ard, but they remain confident in their ability to achieve their true objective regardless. Ard is approached by a female student, whom he politely turns down, proposing that they remain friends instead. Nevertheless, the student attempts to seduce him, but is interrupted by Irina's presence. In his office, Goldie updates instructor Jessica about Ard's decision to abstain from participating in the forthcoming battle event. Additionally, he has faced rejection from the other teachers regarding his ability to teach there, and Jessica assures Goldie that she will handle the situation. That night, Ard reflects on Irina while lying on his bed and is visited by Ginny, who is wearing a light skirt. She then attempts to seduce Ard, while Irina, still upset from earlier in the day, sits on her bed in her room. She finally decides to go to Ard's room, but enters just as Ginny makes a move on him. In disdain of what she perceives is about to happen, Irina hurls various items at Ard. Ginny intervenes to prevent Irina from her actions and discovers Irina's reasons for visiting, learning that she holds her responsible for all the female attention directed at Ard. This revelation sparks a heated argument between the two, culminating in a challenge to duel, but Ard intervenes and chastises them. He then has them sit down to apologize to one another. Just before they are about to shake hands and reconcile, Jessica rushes into the room and suggests they resolve their differences in the upcoming battle event. It is also noted that it would serve as a great opportunity for Ard to become an instructor at the academy. At first, the two are reluctant to accept the proposal due to Ard's counsel, but they are persuaded when Jessica mentions the uniforms that instructors are required to wear. On the day of the battle event, Baron Weiss, Jack, and Carla are depicted as special guest commentators. Ard, who is upset by his parents' commentary, then converses with Olivia, who mentions that Alvarto would be willing to instruct the two fighters. However, Ard is completely unaware of who Alvarto is, a fact that Olivia seems to understand. Meanwhile, Irina is called into the arena after the ongoing match ends. When the match commences, Irina struggles to counter her opponent's spells, but by utilizing the script magic she learned from Ard, she succeeds in overcoming her opponent. The battles progress, and in the finals, it's Ginny versus Irina. When the head commentator asks Weiss for his views on the situation, he asserts that he thinks Irina made it this far due to Ard's support. The match then starts, and before Ginny and Irina can take any action against one another, demons appear in the audience and cause chaos throughout the Colosseum. As Jessica informs Ard and Olivia, the demons are also assaulting the area outside the arena. In the arena, Ginny and Irina manage to eliminate the demons that attack them, but they struggle with the crystal golem that was created by the demons. Weiss employs his magic to destroy the golem, but is then stabbed by Jessica's hand, who then reveals herself as Elzard, the frenzied king of dragons. After she commands Irina to come with her peacefully, Ginny attacks Elzard. However, her magical spells are intercepted by Elzard's barrier. She subsequently knocks out Ginny, and when Irina surrenders, Elzard seizes Irina and ascends out of the arena. Weiss is treated in the school infirmary by Ard. Upon awakening, Weiss discloses that Irina has been taken by Elzard the Frenzied Dragon. Ard reassures everyone that he will rescue Irina from Elzard, as well as any other threat that might oppose him. In return, Weiss grants Ard unrestricted access to the royal treasury whenever he desires. Following Jack's suggestion, he proposes that Weiss disclose the truth to Ard regarding their background, which caused Irina to be absent for a lengthy period. Nonetheless, he remains reluctant to do this because of the situation surrounding them. Irina experiences a dream where she is a child once more and reveals to Ard who her true identity is, after which he vanishes and leaves her feeling isolated. Upon awakening from this dream, Irina finds that her hands are secured by a red transparent magic orb and encased in a magical tube. Elzard subsequently appears and explains that Irina must serve as a sacrifice for the Orphan of Chaos in order to summon a multitude of evil gods from another world to the realm. This is all motivated by her desire to devastate and annihilate the world as she wishes. Although Irina insists that Ard will come to her aid, Elzard asserts that if he were to discover her secret, he would forsake her. This remark validates the dream that Elzard had, and she is then ready to be sacrificed to the Orphan of Chaos. Ready to save Irina, Ard is approached by Ginny, who expresses a desire to accompany him and assist, but Ard asks Ginny to prepare dinner for his return with Irina. He then departs to find Irina, who is on the verge of being consumed by the Orphan of Chaos, but is killed by Ard before it can do so. As he hovers above, Ard descends to the ground and vows to eliminate all of the creatures present. Utilizing a 9 cast, Ard eradicates all the monsters and liberates Irina from her captor, while Elzard watches everything unfold from above. Pleased with the unexpected developments, Elzard discloses that Irina's surname Olihide is an alias, and that her true surname is Leville, revealing that she bears the blood of the evil gods. Back at Weiss's manor, Weiss converses with Jack about how his family are the actual rulers of the country, and that the currently appointed leaders are merely proxies. Returning to Elzard to mock the revelation she just shared with Ard, he shows no interest in it whatsoever. In light of this, Elzard unleashes a lightning spell against Ard, which he nullifies with his spear, even after seemingly defeating her when Ard hurls his spear at her, leading to Elzard's explosion. As it appears, Elzard was still alive and had completely transformed into her full dragon shape. She subsequently unleashes a purple laser spell at Ard, who counters it with his magical barrier. After requesting Irina to turn away, Ard performs a spell that brings forth a golden lady who re-establishes a gold-colored magical barrier. The lady, in fact, was Lydia Baginsgate, and under Weiss's command, she morphs into a broadsword that assists him during the initial phase of the fight. During the second phase of the fight, Ard has Lydia equip him with new armor and alters his hair color to a silver-white hue. By casting the spell Ultimum Zero, Ard vanquishes Elzard, and following the battle, Irina commends Ard and resolves to become more powerful.
Slife finishes her 3-year training in the Phantom Forest dungeon to impress her sister Lydia. However, upon arriving in the outside city, she is shocked by every sight. After nearly being hit by a few wagons, Slife finds refuge in an alley and is approached by a masked person. He tells Slife that rather than 3 years, she has been away for 3,000 years, which Slife pretends she already knew. The two then stroll and converse by the city's river, where he informs Slife that Varvatos has died but has been reincarnated since then. Additionally, he mentions that if she wishes to understand Lydia's past and her current state, it would be best to consult the reincarnation, revealing it to be Ard. Meanwhile, at the academy, Goldie discusses with Ard, Irina, and Ginny about the forthcoming school festival and expresses hope that they will assist in it to generate more funds for the school. It is proposed in exchange for Ard stepping back from the sword tournament. He would take part in the play instead. However, a threatening letter is mentioned, one crafted from human skin that Goldie discloses. The letter's originator is from the organization Lars Al Ghul, and Goldie asks Ard to take part in the play while also monitoring the school premises. Both Ginny and Irina volunteer Ard and themselves to help with the festival, much to Ard's chagrin. He does, however, bring up the shortage of suitable personnel for patrolling the area during the festival, but Goldie assures him that Olivia has that matter under control. To Ard, he is convinced that Olivia has a hidden agenda behind her actions. Later, Ard is confronted by an angry Slife, who approaches Ard and demands to know why he reincarnated and the location of Lydia. Irina steps in and offers to fight Slife in Ard's stead. Spotting Lydia in Irina, Slife inquires about her identity, and Irina replies that she is Ard's friend. Slife then asks to become her friend, and Irina flatly declines, prompting Slife to accept the duel conditions, with Olivia permitting it. Being pressured into accepting the duel, Ard consents to fight against Slife. On the duel grounds, Ard battles Slife on equal terms, but ultimately, he secures victory. While refusing to acknowledge her loss, Slife casts Demise Argis, summoning a magical sword from thin air. Employing the blade, Slife casts Vel Stena Olvidus, but Ard successfully shields himself from the spell with a magical barrier. Before she can launch another attack, Olivia intervenes and admonishes her for the harm and destruction she has caused to the students in the school. Ignoring the chaos she has created, Slife is then scolded by Irina, who makes Slife recall being disciplined by Lydia. This prompts Slife to cry and apologize to Irina, who then comforts the emotional Slife. Later that afternoon, Ard converses with the chosen students assigned to assist with the school play and talks about what the theme of the school play will be. It is momentarily disrupted by Slifer's bad temper towards a group of arrogant nobles from another class who intend to make a substantial profit during the upcoming festival. In reaction to their snobbish comment, Irina counters their statement as rude behavior and asserts that her class will surpass theirs. Returning to the space where the play was being discussed, Ard is selected to portray the Demon Lord, Irina as Lydia, and Slifer as the evil god in the production. Following that, the conversation shifts to the theme of the event they plan to host. It is on Ginny's suggestion that they decide to create a maid cafe. Unbeknownst to all of them, they were being watched by the masked man who approached Slifer earlier in the city. Ard and Irina attend the school festival pretending to be a couple, but in truth, they are there to patrol due to a threat posed by Lars Al Ghul. Soon, Slifer creates a ruckus by igniting an explosion and accusing an older man of being a demon. Olivia then joins the scene and defends the older man, stating that he is a staff member from a restaurant she often visits where she learned to make French fries. Released from her patrol duties by Olivia, Irina proposes that Slifer assist with their class activity, and she reluctantly consents. Ard and Irina then focus on the large tree, which Ard claims is where the third kind of Leville, known as the Great Sword King, sealed a unique item. Irina then states that even her father was unaware of what lies buried beneath the tree. Intrigued, Ard inquires if Olivia knows what is buried there, but she cannot respond due to constraints. Nonetheless, she reveals that one of the main attractions of the festival is the sword battle tournament, and that she has signed both herself and Ard up for it, much to his annoyance. Visiting his class's maid cafe, Ard sees Slifer break through the classroom wall to confront a student who inappropriately touched her. Ard then manages the situation, and following Ginny's insistence, he is treated in the cafe. Eventually, Irina shows up and insists that Ard leave to continue his patrols with her, but Ginny intervenes. This leads Irina to put on a maid outfit and serve Ard. An argument ensues among Ginny, the other maids, and Slifer. Just then, an announcement is made that the sword tournament will commence tomorrow, with the grand prize being a replica of the holy sword Vald Galgus. Irina declares that she will participate in the tournament alongside Ard. Ginny exclaims she will join as well and compete against Ard for an intimate lesson. This irritates Irina, who pledges to defeat Ginny, while Slifer is solely focused on the holy sword, Vald Galgus. On the day of the tournament, Ard, Irina, and Olivia are introduced as the top contenders most likely to win, much to Slifer's dismay. Eventually, Ard and the others advance to the finals, and Ard laments how he cannot hold back without Olivia believing he threw the match. Sitting in the audience, Irina, Slifer, and Ard observe Ginny's match and see her easily defeat her opponent to win. After the game, Irina is called to the cafe to lend a hand. Outside of the Colosseum, Ginny convinces Ard to watch her compete in the Miss and Mr. Beauty contest. Hesitantly, Ard agrees to go, and while in the audience, he notices Elrado, who has significantly gained weight since their last encounter. The reason for his presence is to watch Lilith. He expresses that he feels relieved that Ginny has managed to break her curse partially and has gained new self-confidence. Conversely, he recognizes that he will have to live with his guilt and self-loathing for the remainder of his life, which he accepts. Nevertheless, he understands that he can lift this curse by apologizing to her, but lacks the confidence to do so, and Ard acknowledges his connection to the situation. Ultimately, Ginny emerges victorious in the contest, and upon returning to the cafe, Irina pleads for their assistance but is disappointed that Ginny entered the contest that she also wished to join. The next day, Ard defeats Olivia in the tournament by utilizing a reflection spell that sends her flying out of the Colosseum. This action leads to Ard being disqualified for employing a forbidden spell, while Olivia gives up due to her inability to return in time for her match. During their bout, Irina triumphs over Ginny, and afterward, the masked man observes them and notes that alterations in the script are necessary.